There was once an American manufacturer that created some of the greatest sedans the world has ever seen. However, now in today's day and age, people don't even consider buying one of these used.
Today we're talking about a vehicle that took a 15-year hiatus until it was reintroduced in 2017.
You can buy one of these for less than $10,000 while still having the same luxury as most modern $70,000 cars. Few cars carry the same weight of the Lincoln Continental. It's the car that chauffeured presidents, defined American luxury, and once stood toe-to-toe with the world's best. But by the 2000s, the Lincoln Continental disappeared and Lincoln faded with it. In 2017, the Continental returned as a modern flagship, quiet, powerful, and stunning in all the right ways. The problem, however, it arrived in a world that no longer wanted sedans, and in the end, the Continental couldn't save Lincoln, because Lincoln stopped trying to be saved years before cars like this.
Hello everyone and welcome to Performance on Wheels. My name is Todd. My son Austin and I, we make all sorts of videos on all sorts of different cars. We make videos on some of the baddest off-road rigs that are out on the market today to some of the most amazing sports cars. Today we check out the Lincoln Continental. But before we get there, let's talk about the 96% of you that are not hitting that subscribe button. You guys are enjoying our videos, you're loving and liking and commenting on our videos, but still 96% of you are not hitting that subscribe button. So before we ride in style in today's video, do us a favor and hit that subscribe button.
This is the Lincoln Continental, one of the most beautiful sedans that I think has ever been manufactured to this day, with some of the most beautiful body lines, exterior designs, and interior dimensions that I truly have ever seen. You can buy one of these now for under $10,000, but before we get into that,
I wanted to share just my memory of this car hitting the auto market. It was 2017. You and I actually went to the Minneapolis Auto Show. I was had Lincoln dismissed from my mind because the MK cars that were 2014, 15, they were so disappointing. Lincoln had been dismissed from my and many people's minds as far as offering a quality sedan. And when the Continental came out in a picture, you're like, that's interesting. Those door handles that are integrated to the chrome trim, that's really cool looking. And I specifically remember getting into the back seat of this thing and looking over at you and being like, holy crap, this thing's really nice. And that was a black label at the time. Yeah. I remember that. And today we're checking out the Select, which is very intriguing because this is essentially kind of the standard engine, the front wheel drive, not all the bells and whistles, but my goodness, this is still a very nice car.
It is, and I know you just brought up standard engine, which let's talk about that for a minute. Now, the reason I wanted to start under the hood of this thing is the big reason I've never looked into one of these on the used market is, well, unfortunately, Lincoln doesn't really stand up to that reliability standard that I would be looking for in a vehicle that I purchase as a daily driver. Well, that is until I found out that this engine came in this car. The only one that I ever knew about was the 400 horsepower, 400 pound-feet of torque, 3-liter or something like that.
Yeah, twin turbo, yeah.
All-wheel drive. The thing was a beast. But I never even knew that it came with this. What this is the 3.7 liter naturally aspirated V6. No turbos, no boost, no nothing. It's based on the Cyclone series of engines that you can find in F-150s from a similar generation. This engine is well known to get 300,000 miles out of it. Super reliable, super robust engine paired to a super reliable 6-speed automatic transmission. The only things that are commonly known to go wrong on these are the water pumps because they kind of sit inside of the engine.
Yeah, so you're looking at used ones on the market. There are some that actually have over 300,000 miles on Auto Trader right now, current day as we're making this video. There's also some that have 130, 150,000 miles for $7,000. Yeah. On the other end of the spectrum, however, there's still some clean 30, 40,000 mile examples. The Black Label and the Reserve, I believe it is, the higher trim ones, that is, that are in the $30,000 to $40,000 range. So it would be a very hard pill to swallow to go into the dealership and buy that $40,000 example, knowing that you can get a very similar car that's probably more reliable with the 3.7 in it for $25,000, $30,000 less.
Yeah.
And the other thing that's very intriguing about this is you can still get upwards of 26, 27 miles per gallon on the highway. So not only do you have the reliability that Austin was talking about, but some very respectable miles per gallon. Now we're going to talk about the outside of this Continental because there's some very striking features to point out, but the inside's where the magic happens. In a car like this, you have to start in the back seat, and obviously that approach light there, the little puddle light, is absolutely striking. Love the light interior in a luxury car, and you blend that with that dark color carpet. Just what a fantastic contrast. These seats are amazing. Like, it is comfortable back here. The roof line is a little bit short, so I do have a slight claustrophobic feeling just in my headspace being 6 feet tall. But when it comes to legroom, I have legroom for days. I do have some heated seats back here as well as some vents. And when you put down the center armrest, it's a very comfortable place to be. You could spend thousands of miles back here in extreme comfort. It is a very, very well done interior. I like the fact that we have ambient lighting, not only in the front, but also in the back. It might even be better than some of the current day Ford or Lincoln product when you talk about ambient lighting.
And up front is just as exciting as the back, if not even more exciting. This is such a nice place to be in a car that is under that $10,000 price point. I can't even believe that we're talking about something of this caliber that's in that price point. This car is gorgeous inside and out. Lincoln did not skimp out on the materials. I mean, heck, the cheapest material used in this entire car is this thing that runs all the way up through the dash. And even then, it looks like hard plastic, but it's soft to the touch. One of the things that I like most about the driver's seat of the Lincoln that I wasn't necessarily expecting is the amount of adjustability. I mean, you can go as high up sitting in this thing to make it feel like you're in some SUV. Like, you can really get yourself up there. And then the steering wheel goes so far in and so far out. There is so much adjustability. If you want to sit down real nice and low like I personally do and kind of lean back a little bit when you're driving comfortably, you can do that. If you want to be up high and have great visibility and feel super confident about what you're doing, you can easily do that in here too. Now, what also makes the Lincoln feel a lot newer than it is it has a digital display. And it has a lot of great information that runs through that, and it's super easy to operate. Now, what some people might complain about, but I actually think it's pretty good compared to a lot of Ford products at the time, is the Sync 3 system. It has your phone connectivity, it has climate control, it has navigation and audio, all ran right on through it. It does its job. It's a little bit laggy. It's a little bit corny looking and a little bit dated. However, it's not bad at all. It still feels like, quite honestly, not very far off of a modern Ford. Now, the Continental that we are driving today does have that super reliable 3.7 liter V6. However, this one is front wheel drive, not the optional all wheel drive. So let's see how it puts the power down on this relatively chilly day. I mean, for 305 horsepower and this being the slowest powertrain, I don't think you're ever going to need more get up and go than that to accelerate on an on-ramp or get on traffic. It actually has some pretty good pushback even while we were already going about 20 miles an hour. So that's a great thing. And believe it or not, the engine note actually sounds really good as well. This is supposed to be a smooth, quiet ride though, so I shouldn't be talking about any of this performance stuff because it really doesn't matter a whole lot, but it is always fun to touch on because having a vehicle that can make you smile while accelerating is always a big plus in my book. Now, one thing that I thought wasn't going to be very good in this car, but is actually quite well done, is the steering. It is so responsive, very responsive steering. And this Lincoln even has adaptive headlights. So they're moving with the wheel as you turn it around. It's really nice at night, especially in these dark climates like we live in here in Minnesota where it's pitch black at 4:30 p.m. It's challenging to even make these videos. It's so dang dark. It's just nice to have some of those touches that make it easier to drive at night. One last thing that I'd like to touch on before we wrap up driving, which this is an enjoyable car to drive. It rides very smooth, and this ride is what I wanted to talk about. Now, this ride isn't as good as it gets in the Continental. The one that we're driving today is on the coil suspension, which I would highly recommend going after on the used market, and it is available on most trims. However, on the higher trims, you could also option air suspension, which you need to make sure while you're shopping used that you're not getting an air suspension car. It could have some costly repairs in the future or just some pain in the butt nights in your garage. And if you're the type of guy that likes to tackle items like that in your garage and do your own projects, be sure to check out Best Buy Auto Equipment. We got these lifts from Nationwide and they are fantastic in our brand new YouTube studio. So if you guys are interested in purchasing a lift, be sure to check out the link down in the description below.
With the 3.7, you're definitely not going to win any races at a 7.5 second 0 to 60 time, but that's not what this car is about. This isn't the performance German car. This thing is not only riding in luxury as we saw on the inside, but also look at the luxurious lines from the outside.
I have to agree with you. This car's body lines are some of the best that I've seen on the market. They look so good, just completely stock. I've seen some of them lowered on some nice wheels.
Yeah.
Check out this one we saw at a car show this summer. Had me all worked up. This thing was super cool. But my favorite body line is in the back, so I'm gonna let you take on the front.
I love the front end. It just looks elegant up front. When you talk about the daytime running lights, the way that you guys are looking at it now, and then you have the little 3 or 4 lights down below, what a cool presence this car gives from the front end. With the Lincoln signature grille there and chrome in all the right places, it's just a very elegant, striking, kind of one-of-a-kind front end. Knowing that there's only 32,000 of these produced in the 3-year run, it makes this car a little more appealing to me because there's a sense of a uniqueness there.
Yeah, there is.
Now that might be why they're not around anymore, because in the final year of 2020, they only sold around 5,000 of them. But getting back to the design of the car, this little ridge or this little crease that goes down the middle and then picks it up again on the roof, it looks really darn cool. Since you're standing on the side, why don't you talk about that?
This is where we get to my favorite body line on this whole car. It actually runs all the way from the front to the back, and that's this one that starts right above the headlight right here. This one carries across the whole side and it runs straight. Even though this line right above it that carries that door handle inside of it just elegantly floats above this body line. This body line creates a bold line across the whole back to where it looks like it has a wide rear end, and it looks so sweet. If you look at it from a top angle from the back straight on, these haunches just kind of hang out over this center deck lid, and it is beautiful. I love this body line, and it absolutely makes this car's design, in my opinion. I also really like that Continental logo that's right below my favorite body line that also starts a new body line across the side.
But the mirror, like, take that mirror in for a second. Not only is that like chrome piece amazing, how it blends off of the chrome strip that goes down the car, but you also have that nice chunk of like brushed aluminum that the mirror is sitting on. When you continue on to those electronic door handles, what an amazing cue to just tie into the car. Obviously they're electronic, so one of the complaints about the car could be some electronic gremlins, not only with the door handles, but with some of that Sync 3 system inside of there. But nonetheless, like, this is a truly well-designed car that is very underappreciated.
Oh, you guys are over there now, which is perfect because the back of this thing looks so good. How was this car under $10,000?
Yeah, it's kind of quite incredible. And back to the used market, this is what, between 6 and 9 years old at this point. And just comparing it to some of the other cars, especially in this segment for what you get, this is an absolute hidden bargain that's out there. Who knew that starting our 2026 video series on the old forgotten cars would start off with such a bang? This is such a killer car that I kind of truly caught me off guard.
I would fully agree. I was not expecting this car to be so good for so cheap. There's not many cars on the market that you can buy for under $10,000 that carry the build quality, the luxury, and the reliability that the Lincoln Continental has. I am truly disappointed that they did not continue to manufacture the Continental because they knocked it out of the park with this generation. Let us know your thoughts on the best luxury car under $10,000. Is there anything that beats this on the used car market right now? Let us know down in the comments below. But thank you guys so much for tuning in to the video today here on Performance on Wheels. We can't wait to see you next time.